sometimes you just gotta let filler be filler. Eaters of Light, Doctor Who, episode 10 of series 10, and yeah, I kind of gave away pretty much almost my entire opinion about the episode with a little intro, but it does very much feel like a filler episode. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I mean, sometimes you just need filler. Not everything must contribute to the overall thing or be a game changer or anything like that, but you can get really solid, really memorable standalone stories, and this isn't really that. Again, it's not bad by any means, and there's a lot of little things that I like about it, but the broad strokes are pretty broad. Let's go to a historical setting, let's drop in a monster, let's have the Doctor fix it, and that is kind of it, and that's a pretty bog standard, much in the way that I felt like Empress of Mars was a pretty bog standard scenario as well. Now, I don't want to over equate the two, they do have very different feels, but they do both similarly feel very much like filler and just a way to fill out the season, and neither of them really feel like they're exploring anything too particularly deeply or trying to do anything all that ambitious. That said, they accomplished what they set out for well enough. I do personally like this one a bit more than Empress of Mars. Maybe it's just because I like the setting a little bit more. I do think they picked an interesting setting, and especially in terms of how much surprising balance is given between the Romans and the Picts, because on the one hand you have this guardian of the gate who very clearly kind of overstepped and did something horrible. And there is an acknowledgement of the contributions to modern society that the Romans gave, and, you know, some surprisingly forward-thinking things of Roman times, while at the same time acknowledging that they sent 5,000 soldiers up to kill a whole bunch of farmers in Scotland. So it was a lot more balanced than these things can end up being sometimes. So that was nice. It's funny, when Bill had her whole thing of realizing that the TARDIS was the Doctor, whatever, is translating the language for her, I immediately thought, really? We're doing this now? Almost done with the season? We're doing this now? And then I thought, oh, I guess she hasn't brought it up before. And it actually kind of played into one of the moments that I liked quite a bit, which is when the Romans and the Picts sort of suddenly realized that they can understand each other when they couldn't before, in this acknowledgement that they all just sound like children having a tantrum. And I like that moment. I like that acknowledgement. It's something that at least I'm not familiar with a Doctor Who scenario, because a Doctor Who being dropped into the middle of a conflict between two sides, again, not particularly exceptional. It's happened more than a few times, but I don't think there's ever been a situation where it gets acknowledged by both sides, like, hey, I can understand you when I couldn't before, and then what does that mean? I don't think the show's ever gone there up to this point, and it was just a nice moment. It worked pretty well. The characters, while not especially deep, are not also as shallow as they could have been under the circumstances, and they're played pretty well as far as the supporting cast goes. The thing with the crows, it's really cheesy, but I oddly kind of like it. I'm not sure I can explain why, other than to say I guess I kind of like cheesy a little bit. I don't know. The monster was pretty neat. I kind of like the light tentacles thing that it had going on, but how it functioned, it was very vague, but that's not uncommon for these sorts of situations where it is just a monster as opposed to, you know, someone with a plan or a society of aliens or what have you, so I should have expected as much. As with Empress of Mars, the best stuff, though, is with Missy at the very end, and I'm really, really loving Michelle Gomez in this part right now, and I'm loving how she's playing this where it really does feel like the character is finding new depths to herself, yet at the same time she's not losing that edge that she is dangerous and she probably should not be trusted. And I love the Doctor's reaction to that, where him acknowledging, like, look, if this is genuine, that's a big problem because I shouldn't trust you, and hope is a dangerous thing when it comes to someone like you. Yet at the same time, you know he is experiencing that hope. I'm loving that balance. I'm loving that dynamic. The two of them together are so good. And it really makes me super excited for the next episode. And I think in a lot of ways, I I came away from this going, oh, that was fine. It was, you know, kind of unremarkable, kind of disposable. It was fine, but like I'm so pumped for the next one, especially knowing that they're really gonna finally get into the thing with Missy and the Doctor properly. Plus, we're gonna get them onto Cybermen on top of that, which, yes. So I guess that's kind of it. I don't have all that much to say about this one because I just don't think there's all that much to it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's certainly, as much as it is, I would qualify it as kind of a disposable filler episode. It's certainly not bad. There's none of the head slapping moments of some of the worst of these things. And to go with modern examples, something like Kill the Moon had head slapping moments, and The Force of the Night, for me, Sleep No More had some awful head slap moments. This doesn't have anything like that, so it ends up being fine. It's just fine. It's a completely run-of-the-mill, okay, well, this will keep the momentum going until we get to the one that really matters kind of episode, and that's fine. I mean, I would like them to, I like it when they take the opportunity of these standalone filler episodes to do something a little bit more ambitious, like you sometimes get with something like Mummy on the Orient Express, or the high watermark is stuff like Midnight or Blink, but you know, they're not always gonna be that, and this was fine. So I guess that's gonna wrap it up. What were your thoughts on this episode? Or if you're like me and you feel like you don't have a ton of thoughts on this episode, what are you excited for the next one? So whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks, give a listen to the Council of Geeks podcast. Also, you can hear me as one half of the Punch Like a Girl podcast. Both of those are available on iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned.